think, oh, this is my Ku Klux Klan wear, I'm actually killing niggers. Any one of them can have that psychological relapse. They're going out as gangs and thugs, bullying our people. This is what they're doing, under the auspices of being police. They're bullying our people. They're getting together just like they did in the Western movies, just like they did doing lynchings. You see 4 or 5 white cops that look like fucking racists. They looking evil in the car, looking mad, militant, like they hate black people, driving 4 deep, 3 cars deep. What's going on? This is not police protection and law. This is the Ku Klux Klan in your neighborhood. Yep. These are lynchings. But they're not using ropes anymore. They're using guns to kill black people. They're not castrating black people's genitals. They're castrating our minds to keep us in fear of them. The only purpose that they castrated people is to produce fear in the people that witnessed it. They don't gotta castrate you if they can create some other methodology of making you completely fearful and completely petrified. They don't need to do castrations anymore, or public hangings, because they have more easier methods to keep you afraid of him. They did all that to make you fear him, and if you still fear him, they got less to work to do, if you fear them. So my point is, we're letting this all go on because we believe in the white man's legal system. That somehow his system is legal. That somehow something he's doing is right. He put our people under 400 years of chastisement and slavery and mutilation, and dropped over 4 billion of our people, 400 billion of our people in the Atlantic Ocean. And now he's writing some right laws now. Now he's legal all of a sudden. So my point is, until we can realize that this European does not have our justice in our hands, and we come together and organize based upon who we are, and for our own protection and security, can we throw off this type of madness that he's portraying on us. But as long as we believe in his legal system, we'll begin to justify it. And we're surprised every time we hear about another shooting. What do you expect from the Ku Klux Klan? Every time there's another shooting in the community, or police shooting, we're surprised. What do you expect from racists driving in cars in your neighborhood? What did you expect? I actually had some cops. I was a member of the Motor Science Symbol of America. Had my fez on, and I was coming from one of the meetings. And I actually had one of the police actually come and say, drive by and say, nigger, out the car. And kept on driving. What do you expect? What do you expect? They say we're here to serve and protect the people. Anybody that's about humanitarian service is going to have a kind attitude towards the people. The damn police won't even speak. They're arrogant and macho. You understand the point I'm making? With tough guy images. How are you going to have compassion and be a damn bully at the same time? How can you serve people just and be walking around with an arrogant attitude about how tough you are? Do you understand the point I'm making? The strongest of men are those who have developed in character and who have developed in humanity, who can serve other human beings. If you look at people like Gandhi and even Haile Selassie, the most strongest people, the most powerful people are those who are most humble. And if you walk around arrogant as hell, you lack spiritual development. They are not developed as human beings. So how can you serve somebody if you yourself are in most need of service? Steve. So the police cannot serve us. They cannot protect our communities. They're in worse condition than the damn communities. They come in imitating the gangs. You see the little tap eunuchs. They're acting like gangbangers. They're acting like the people who are in darkness. So how you act? You're imitating foolishness, but you're going to bring some justice to the community. They got their hats to the back with 10 or 15 tattoos on. But you're supposed to be the police. You're supposed to be serving the community. And you look like the bullshit. I can't separate the difference. That's why it's not that dicks are so undercover. They just as mad as the goddamn people they supposed to be trying to arrest. They just as mad as the people that they supposed to be serving justice to. They're in a worse condition. got their hats banged to the right with French braids with tattoos down their arm talking about killer? Police officers. How the hell are you going to save somebody? And you yourself is under the ignorance. And then people say, well, you know, they're going to get mad at that and they say, well, there's some good police out here. And I've talked and had intellectual conversations with police, and I've had historical conversations, and I've built with the police. But you can't be on two sides of the table. You either about waking up the people, or you about destroying them. Period. There's no gray area. You can't say, well, I care about the people, but I'm going to keep locking them up. I'm going to support an imperialistic, colonialistic regime in our community, but I care about the community. I'm going to make sure I keep filling the prisons to make sure that 70% of black people make up the prison population. But I care about the people. You cannot care about the people from that vantage point. Well, there's some good police that look out for the people. That's impossible. There's some good Nazis in a concentration camp that gave people an extra piece of bread. But damn it, it's still a concentration camp. You understand the point I'm making? There was Nazis that said, I won't kill this one, but I'll kill them 10. Is that a good Nazi? So I said there are no good police officers. The good within them is the potential to get away from that bullshit. You understand what I'm making? I'm just going to keep it real. The good in them is their willingness to walk away from that madness of performing those atrocities on our community. That's the goodness that's in them. To one day wake up and realize that I'm hurting the people. If you want to help somebody, create programs to help them. Go out and deal with the youth to create more criminals from being produced. Teach them the knowledge of who they really are. That's the only way you can help them. And if you're not doing that, you're not helping them at all. You're not helping somebody by locking them up, like encaging them like an animal. You're not helping people by doing that. You're adding to and justifying their animalistic mentality. Because now when you act inhumane against them, you justify their inhumane attitude towards the world. Do you see what I'm saying? You justify it. They want to rob and steal because they feel no one cares. They have no compassionate comprehension of social reality. Do you see what I'm making? So they don't mind stealing from anybody. You see what I'm making? They don't mind performing these crimes on their people because they feel that people don't care. If they really felt the compassion and love that society had for them, they would not be doing this stuff. So when you go and beat them over the head, are you helping their attitude? You understand what I'm making? When you lock them up and cage them, you're adding to their reality that society ain't shit. You're telling them that they're right. We don't give a fuck. You won't say, well, you're stealing. Obviously, you was hungry. Let me get you something to eat. Let me beat you upside your goddamn head. That's the solution to your hunger. You won't say, well, let me challenge some of this materialism. Did you really need this gold chain? Do you really need all this stuff? Are you going to die without this? How valuable is this? You're not going to challenge that. How valuable is life to you? You're not going to really teach them and wake them up. Your solution is cracking them over the head and throwing them behind bars. And you think they're going to come out as evolved humans somehow. That this is a correctional facility and people are actually being corrected. And they're coming out more matter, more angry, and more evolved with their deviousness. You see what I'm making? More ingenious with their schemes. You see the point I'm making? To attack society. And they're not just attacking the European society, they're attacking their own society. So the fact that you're locking them up is our problem too. Because they're coming out. Give an example. They passed these new drug laws, whatever, now they starting to let people get shorter terms, right? With the crack and cocaine argument. Now what I see is several leaders now on the streets. So now you got, it used to be a rotation of leaders coming out of jail. Normally when one leader comes in, another one comes out. This is how it used to be with how they had it set up. Now they let about 5 leaders out on the street. What you think gonna happen? They're all territorial. You got 8 chiefs now. You feel what I'm making? All in the same neighborhood. And you wonder why so many shootings. Because they're letting them out now. You got 5 gang leaders out now. 5 people that were selling and controlling turfs, because they only lock up the ones with the most money. So those were people who had some level of leadership. They wasn't the top person, of course, because you never get them. So now they letting out all these leaders. And now they're fighting over territory. Come on. So was that intelligent to just let them out without really rehabilitating them in a real humanitarian way? You just let them out. But they're incapable of rehabilitating them in a humanitarian way. You know why? Because they're inhumane.